As you know, the car scene is waking up, or at least it's going to in the next couple of weeks or months. So I thought I'd do a video with the 4 things that I do to set my photos and videos apart from everyone else's. These are things that you can do with your work to hopefully get your work noticed, start getting some extra clients and take better photos. Let's jump straight into it. So the first bit of advice I'd have for you is going to be about the angles that you're using and the locations that you're shooting in. Obviously, if you're doing a car meet, then you don't necessarily have control over how a car's positioned, but you do have control over how you set up your camera to take that photo. You could take a photo so that it looks as if it's a private shoot. There's no people, there's no other cars. Or you could do the opposite and include photos of people pointing and smiling and looking at the cars around you, as this can add an environment and a nice atmosphere to your photos. Don't just go up to a car, plonk your camera in front of it and do a front-facing shot, and then moving on to another car and doing a front-facing shot, and then just moving on to another car and just doing the same again and again and again. You don't want to be doing this. Mix up your photos, use interesting angles, and if you don't know if something looks good, the best way to find out is to set up the camera, take the photo and see. You know, you're not limited by how many photos you can take on your camera. So take as many different angles as possible, mix it up. Don't just go for the generic, bog standard, boring photos. So the second thing I'm going to suggest to you is color grading your images. If you don't know how to do this, you can go onto YouTube, find loads of tutorials, or you can buy some presets from some of your favorite creators. Irrespective of which way you do it, you need to start color grading your images, as this way your photos look professional. You don't want your photos looking like someone's just pulled out their phone or their camera, taken a quick snapshot and posted the photos. You want your photos to look like there was time and effort put into them, to look like they came straight out of a movie. You want them to look good. Color grading, you need to learn it. Go on Lightroom, mess around with the color calibration, the tone curves, and just learn how to do it. So number 3 is similar to number 1, but a little bit different. You want to take different types of photos. You're not just taking a bunch of photos of just the outside of a car. You want to include the inside shots, the outside shots. You want photos that show off the culture that car belongs in. So Japanese cars, for instance. You want to find a cherry blossom tree, or you want to get photos of the car drifting. You want different photos depending on what you're shooting. Don't just do the same old boring generic photos. You may have seen on Instagram, but many people, myself included, like to do those collage photos where you have 3 photos in one. You need backup images for this. This could be badges, branding, whatever it is. You want those photos because you can use those to make your other photos look even better. So don't just take 3 photos of a car and call it a day. Take lots of photos of lots of different things and your photos will look even better. Right, the last thing is going to be about the presentation of your photos. You don't just want to select 10 photos, stick them on Instagram and call it a day. Instead, see it almost like a story that you're trying to tell people. You're going to want to get people interested in photo number 1 and photo number 2, and once they're interested and hooked to your photos, then you can start giving them the interesting photos, the backup photos, the badges and all the other photos that you've taken. But you need to get people interested, otherwise they're not going to get that far. So yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. Obviously, just bear in mind that photography and art in general is very subjective, so what you like and what I like might be slightly different. All of the advice I've given is just tips for you to follow if you have no idea what you're doing. If you do know what you're doing, then you've just wasted all your time watching this video. So you're the one that looks stupid. But joking aside, if you have got any questions and you want to know how I get any of my results, leave a comment down below, reach out to me on Instagram, check out our Discord, hit the subscribe button. I think that's pretty much everything else I can spam you with, so I'm going to call it a day there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.